Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Jay back at it again. Today we got, so this is basically One Piece by Joe Pop Lewis. Y'all know what the deal is, man. Follow me on both Jays here and Jays.the.one. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now, disclaimer, I have seen this video. I'm not a fake reacting ass nigga, bro. I'm keep real. I've seen the video before. Obviously, I remember disagreeing with a lot of the points he made, but now that I've reread One Piece, I'm more nuanced, mature. I'm gonna come in with a different perspective and, you know what I'm saying, get some commentary. So let's get right into it.
Peas is the story of Loosey Goosey. He plays things fast and loose, but he got too loose and now he's all wiggly. He's made of rubber. How did that happen?
Yo, the government has been lying to you. Our true history is written on magic Legos. The gum fruit isn't real. There are weasels on the moon. Cast away your shackles, my brothers, and rise! Rise!
It's the great age of pirates. A pirate is defined as anyone who sails a boat. And Loosey Goosey's gonna be king of them all. To do that, he needs to conquer the Grand Line, an inaccessible ocean that you can easily leave and come back to. I mean, if you need to. If you forgot your keys or something, it's not a big deal. You can just come right back in there. People on the Grand Line have the power of devil fruits, fueled by the dreams of what humanity could be. You know those dreams we all got. I want to wear someone like a jacket. I want to squeeze a person until milk comes out. I want to gain weight.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, some of these other foods is wild, bro. Like, who's the nigga that imagine wanting to be a jacket? Like, what the fuck?
I also want to gain weight, but in a more useless way.
I hope nobody notices we have the exact same powers!
There are dozens of devil fruits, each with different powers that make them all distinct. Asterisk. Parameciums are silly boys that turn you into a sinky, stinky weirdo. Loogie Froogies give you control over an element. You can squoogle your body to avoid attacks and also generate
Something?
which Parameciums can't do. Except for the ones that can. Those are called special Parameciums, which can also...
Yeah, I think... Yeah, Katakuri's Devil Fruit is kind of tricky. Because I thought that nigga was a Logia. Because he was able to turn his entire body into the substance of Mochi, but he's special. Yeah, that's that. I ain't gonna lie. That's a little weird.
be spelled like this. And then there's furries. But they're ugly. With such varied powers, Old Peas is pretty wacky. Which is to say, most fights are just two people whacking each other until one of them decides to fall down.
That's most shonen fights. I will say this though, early One Piece, like TSO Sage said, I think he originated or someone else did, it did feel like Pokemon fights. I have my attack turn, you yap a little bit, then it's his attack turn, yap, my attack. It did feel, early One Piece did feel like that. I'm not ain't gonna lie, it did feel like that, especially in the anime. However, I think that now One Piece is getting to a point to where the hands is getting elite. Like, Luffy versus Lucci was fantastic, Luffy versus Katakuri was fantastic, Zoro versus Kings, Queen versus Sanji, Luffy versus, like, One Piece has heavy hitters when it comes to fighting. I ain't gonna lie.
I swear some of these are good. Him and Usopp are a Robin fight. What do you mean Robin doesn't get any fights? She's like the strongest character. Oh, come aboard and bring
okay, hold on. All right, this is where Oda being sexist. On one hand, One Piece does get a lot. I'll say this though about Oda. Does he give his female characters a lot of moments, a lot of flashbacks, especially compared to a series like Naruto? Yes. Right, we're talking about Arlong Park giving Nami a lot of stuff. Enies Lobby Water 7 being centered around Robin. Nami consistently, especially at least pre-time skip, constantly gets fights. Whether it be through Mrs. Doublefinger, her one-on-one with the CP9 agent, her helping Luffy against Enel. Like, she definitely has moments, especially pre-time skip. And even if we want to extend it to Robin, she recently got a pretty good fight with Black Maria and Onigashima. And, you know, we also have Charlotte Linlin, a Yonko. We got, let me think, Rebecca's story. We got Vivi, who's playing an active role in the story. And a lot of other characters. But I will say this, though. Oda do be drawing his female characters crazy. Like, he does draw them crazy. I'm not even going to, like, he ain't have to draw, what's her name? Rebecca's like 16, my nigga. He ain't have to draw her like that, bro. He ain't have to do her like that. Like, my nigga, she ain't got armor, bro. Like, she's 16, bro. Like, hold on, let me put that bitch up right quick. Let me look at this shit. Cause you know, a nigga like me, we do research. You know, we get info. Yeah. Wow. Like what the, like this, like I know Toei also is part of the BS, but come on, my nigga, come on, bro. Like I don't even want to scroll down. I might see some shit I don't want to see. Like my nigga, like bro. Oda, you don't gotta draw every female character like a blow up doll, bro. You feel me? And it definitely got worse as time went on, bro. I ain't gonna front.
Chapter count for the biggest serialized adventure manga in history, only to find that the adventure stories aren't as good as the thriller and espionage ones, and the author should probably just be writing that. Revel in excitement and watch as Lucy has to punch the bad man in order to stop the natural disaster from crashing down and destroying an island that's shaped like a circle. This is every single arc. Sometimes Oda gets worried.
Yeah, okay, I'll give him that. A lot of One Piece arcs, similar narrative. Straw Hats get to an island, things seem decent until they counter a problem with the civilians. It's either a corrupt ruler or some type of prejudice. Luffy finds the bad guy and whoops his ass. It's to be fair, a lot of the plots in One Piece follow that narrative, but at the same time, to say that they're all the same because of that is crazy. Like I honestly just to say that is crazy. That's like me saying Dragon Ball Z is Goku shows up, is niggas is chilling, a bad guy shows up, Goku fights, Goku is either injured or has some type of condition to where he can't fight in the middle portion of the arc. Other characters chime in and then Goku finishes up at the end. That's like me saying that's how all Dragon Ball arcs go. Is there truth to it? Somewhat, but it's definitely an oversimplification.
That the 12-year-old boys who read his boob comic don't think it's cool enough. So he decides to draw everything on fire for a few panels and then forgets about it.
He's on fire! He must be from the jungle!
What?
The stakes still aren't high enough! Quick! Hit him with a poison that doesn't work!
Let's see the crew we're cruising the sea with. Alola Molazo is the right-hand man who holds his swords like an idiot and can teleport in front of any woman, so long as it's for sexist reasons. Nami is a cat burglar who gets more pussy than the rest of the crew combined. My man!
Yeah, Nami being lesbian, that's not canon, bro. That's not canon, cuz.
In light of recent allegations, our crew has decided to cut ties with Mr. Vinsmoke. We are currently in talks to replace him with the hot, suave, good version of Sanji from the Netflix adaptation. Ooh, okay, now Robin is the most interesting character in One Piece.
She's a woman!
Sorry, I guess that's all the time we have. Marketable plushie, fish, bones!
Yeah, about Zoro being sexist, it's his sexism stems from the fact that his childhood best friend died, and he doesn't view female fighters the same he views male fighters. However, to say that's like sexism is kind of like, I wouldn't say a man who doesn't want to hurt a woman is sexist. I wouldn't say that. You could say, oh, he's sexist because he's that, but at the same time, it's not you're mistreating them or you think they're less than you. It's just, I don't want to hurt you for X reason. Like, I don't think Zoro is this horrendous sexist that Joe Apocalypse is portraying him to be.
The rest! Main the Mizunaz with the main cast for most of them.
Yeah, I do agree. Chopper post time skip, especially Return to Saul Bodhi, was pissing me off. Nigga couldn't recognize his crew. Nigga, ain't you a doctor? Like, come on, bro.
They're so mid that their boat has more personality than they do.
Whoa! You didn't tell me our boat was from the jungle!
Trade in your straw hat for a tin-foil one and delve deep into the mysteries of the world. Fight back against an all-powerful evil government and the lapdogs who work as their enforcers. Except the ones the author thinks we're supposed to like, even though they're fucking awful. Free the oppressed peoples of the world in a setting where all slaves will eventually become racist slavers themselves? Oh, that's not good. Listen, the author has great ideas, but he's not always so good at the execution. Just look how long it takes for him to execute this freckle guy. Hey, don't worry, Luke.
Hey, Marineford was fantastic. I can't co-sign that. Marineford, as when I talked about it, was one of my first. It was actually second video that did really good on my channel. It was the first vid to crack 1,000 views. It has like 1.5K now. My nigga, Marineford is how you do a war arc, bro.
We got a better one in the back. And guess what, baby?
Yeah, okay, I will say this, though. The way Sabo was set up, especially with the ASL flashback post-Marineford, and the anesthesia plot, it did high-key feel like that nigga was kind of just the ace number 2. I'm not saying I don't like Sabo, I do, but I feel like the way Oda set it up with the end, it feels like it was a cheap cop-out for Sabo to forget about Ace's execution.
He's from the jungle!
Most of the time, I hate anesthesia plots, because it's like, it's such a cheap, lazy way. Like, I did not fuck with the Big Mom anesthesia plot in Wano. I think it's usually a lazy way for it to keep a character out of action.
That jungle lore was actually foreshadowed in exactly one panel 400 chapters ago. Don't you feel stupid for not noticing? Oh, don't worry. If you missed it, you can always catch up on the lore by skimming a fan wiki that insists on spelling every proper noun wrong, because that's what some weebs called them back in 2001.
Here, my man, let me pay you in bellies.
What's that? You think these bellies and the story are both overstuffed?
Pish and Shaw. Oda doesn't need editors.
Old Peas has 1,100 chapters and twice as many named characters. I'm sure all of these guys are absolutely essential. How many of them could you possibly cut while telling the same story?
Wow. You getting rid of a lot of niggas.
Oh, that's at least 5 of them.
I will say this, though. Oda does like to fill his arcs with a lot of niggas. Oda does have a problem. I will tell you this. The problem with Oda is I feel like he staffs his arcs with a massive amount of characters, and that leads to plots being bloated. If I make a One Piece video in the future, you know, like the Wano vid that I postponed because I wanted to make it better, because I didn't want to just rush through that bit, you know what I'm saying? Because I know I'm not going back to Wano for a minute after that shit, because that bit gonna be long as fuck. But my point is that if you are going to have an arc, I think it's best. I think this is what Toriyama and Kishimoto and even Kubo do better than Oda, is that they don't have arcs with just an absurd amount of characters that drag it on. I'm not saying Naruto and Bleach have perfect pacing, but I feel like Oda introduces so many characters, and then towards the middle portion of the arc struggles what to do with them.
I'm glad we wasted pages on these dudes instead of seeing the Straw Hats actually have any kind of dynamic with each other.
Nah, I disagree. Luffy and Zoro had a lot of chemistry in Wano. I will say this, I feel like Chopper hasn't had a lot of shit post time skip. Usopp has definitely been neglected. Robin, I feel like Robin a good amount of the time, especially from the first portion of post time skip all the way to her fight. She didn't have a one-on-one fight for a minute. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Who cares about that? I have to know the name of the weapon that fuck-ass Joe uses. Let's check out the Q&A corner, where the author answers only the most enlightened of questions from the 12th of year-old readers.
Who's fuck-ass Joe?
I'm so glad you asked. Fuck-ass Joe has a really interesting backstory. My editor said I couldn't include it, so I murdered him, because nobody tells me what to do. Anyway, he drifted through the Calm Belt, which has no currents, and you shouldn't be able to drift through it, but I forgot. Then he met another character and became a pirate. Thanks so much for your question.
At Burger King, you inspire.
Yeah, I disagree with him on the character interactions part, at least for the most part. I see where he's coming from when these niggas talking about Straw Hats not getting enough because if we're talking about Straw Hat chemistry, I definitely think pre-time skip beats post-time skip in that regard. I just feel like there's so many moments in pre-time skip where it's just the crew chilling, interacting, whether that be just filler in the anime or GA arc, things of that nature. However, I will say I do think he's dragged some parts. I know there's a skit for Zoro to be racist and, you know, be sexist, but I definitely think he's dragging it. I don't think Zoro is this horrendous sexist individual, bro.
Oh, lick the syrup off of Nami's body.
Watch as breasts grow larger, negative space grows rarer, and the art gets sketchier and sketchier because the artist would literally rather kill himself than accept help from or credit any of his assistants. Don't worry, Oda is actually just...
Yeah, that's the... I think this is the part most people like, because most of this is just slander. This, I'm gonna just let it play.
being
before I get my
nice,
thoughts.
making his art worse on purpose so that the anime doesn't look as bad by comparison. Is reading too quick and easy? Switch to the anime and watch as time slowdown turns this angry broccoli man's one-panel Wii into a 10-minute long piss venture. Hey, mister, this is old peas, not you peas. This is simply not up to Toei's standard of quality. I know what'll fix this. That's better. Listen, this is a very serious emotional story, but we don't want you to be sad when you read it. Remember, at the end of the day, there are no consequences to anything. Hit this bird with a nuke, he'll be fine. Put a bandage on him, he'll be fine. Abandon your children for inexcusably selfish reasons? Don't worry, they'll always love you no matter what. And that's why you should take care of yourself. And not work yourself so hard that your coworkers have to force you to get surgery and to sleep. They all care about you. Your daughters care about you, Oda. You know what you can do to show them that you care about them?
Oh. Sexualize another child their age?
No, Oda. That's wrong.
Oh. Younger?
No.
Yeah, a lot was said there. I bet real nigga, we gonna break this shit down. Break this bit down inch by inch. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna let the niggas get some of his shit off. Yeah, I feel like Oda's art style has gotten worse. Like if I was to pull up chapter 1 or just an early volume of One Piece compared to modern One Piece, I'd say early One Piece had better paneling. It was way easier to follow the action, way easier to read. Like there was parts during Wano and Egghead to where I was like, and I'm talking about the manga, it was difficult to follow what was happening because it was so messy. However, that's what doing a weekly manga shonen is gonna do to niggas, right? Trying to get a chapter. That's what happened with Gege. It happened with Toriyama in the Buu Saga. Like trying to crank out chapter after chapter, week is fucking exhausting, which is why I'm not harping on Oda too much for that, right? It happens with every great mangaka. That's why they take breaks. Toei be wilding. I'm not even, Toei, that's crazy. Toei wilds. And I also agree, there is points in One Piece, right, where the pacing drags. Sometimes the pacing, taking its time is good, right? If we're talking about actual meaningful character interactions, we're talking about adding more on fight scenes, especially, example being Luffy versus Gear 5 Luffy versus Kaido. Let me think. Sanji's fight with Queen was way better in the anime. Zoro vs. King was a fucking movie, right? Luffy vs. Lucci round 2 in the anime was very, very well animated and choreographed. However, I do agree. There's points, especially from that Punk, Hazard, Dressrosa, Wano, Whole Cake, where them niggas was dragging the shit. And about leaving, I think One Piece is about a story about chasing their dreams and things of that nature. I mean, to be fair, I think Yasop was already a pirate and he might have left because he knew there would be a bounty on his head and he didn't want to put his family in danger. Now, is he a good dad by any means? No, but that might be why he left, or the nigga might just be a deadbeat. Who knows? What else did he talk about? Yeah, Oda. This doesn't say Oda doesn't kill people, but Oda definitely lets a lot of niggas live. Pell should be dead. I think Saul's ass should be dead too, nigga. That nigga, I don't know, bruh. I think Oda should have some of these niggas gone. Some of these niggas need to get packed up, bro. And this is where, like, you didn't, like, Jello, you didn't have to bring the nigga family, cuz, like, you didn't have to bring that nigga, come on, like, this is foul. I think this is a foul play. You didn't have to bring in the nigga daughters, bro. Yes, I know Oda sexualizes the, you know what I'm saying, Pudding, Shirahoshi, and Rebecca. Like, I know he does it, especially Toei. They do that shit OD, but you ain't had to bring the nigga family into that shit, bro.
You know what you can do?
But all in all, I will say I agree with some of his points, especially regarding pacing and some characters and arcs being bloated. But I think I think the problem with this video just seemed more spiteful. Cause I used to watch a lot of Jello Apocalyptic shit. I just think this nigga shit was more spiteful this time around than it normally was. Like, the nigga really had a hatred for this nigga Oda. But yeah, with that being said, it's your boy Jay. Stay healthy, stay wealthy, and stay blessed. It's your boy Jay, and I'm out.